And one of my biggest and hottest suggestions is if you buy a van and going to fit it out, don't just buy it and start fitting it out and to some spec that you've come up with, because you're going to be wrong. Throw a mattress in the back and just hang around in it to put the basics in and just work out what's right for you. I've gone a whole lot lighter and a whole lot cheaper. This above us here is one sheet of core flute. Hello, this is John Naylor from Deja Vu Travel Magazine, and in this slightly different video for me, we're going to visit my life back home here in Australia and the way I get around. This is my daily driver behind me, my Volkswagen Crafter 35. It's a 2023 model, so I took delivery of this around about 2 years ago. It's now early January 2025. Now, what I'm going to do is take you for a little walk through here. It's a special request from a friend of mine who says, John, I love this idea of the van. I want to build one as well, and what you've done looks great. You've done some things different, so I'm going to take you through some finer points. It's a longish video, I think, in the end, but maybe it's worthwhile, and there's some things you're going to pick up and go, oh, wow, I didn't think of doing it that way. Anyway, a little bit of short history and a little bit of an understanding about me. So I've lived on boats for 10 years. I've been around boats for 25 years odd. This is now my 5th van. I've had 3 of these horrible Kia Peugeot vans, terrible vehicles, and I killed all of them. And then when I started to make some dough and had the money to finance it, and just before COVID actually, I was lucky enough to buy a 2018 Mercedes Sprinter 6 metre. Now that was a wonderful vehicle and has some refinements and things that even this vehicle doesn't have. But when it came time to actually buy a vehicle new, I went for the Crafter. In short, it's a whole lot cheaper to buy a Crafter. And one big point of difference over the Mercedes Sprinter is that the lane keep, so the tech in this vehicle is just that little iteration better. So the Mercedes Sprinter, when you go to steer out of a lane, the vehicle would say, oh, I can see you're out of a lane, and go like, no, you should not do that, and sort of shake the wheel and stuff like that, and make a noise. Now, by comparison, the Crafter has actually got a bit of lane, what are they, a lane recovery? What would you call it? Anyway, it steers me back into the lane. And while it's not a Tesla or it's not full automation or L2, what it does mean is that it can take my hands off the wheel if necessary on highway conditions and do whatever I need to do. Or it's going to be there to make highway cruising really great. There's some other things I opted for as well. Behind, you can see that I've actually got a window on the side door here, and it's actually got a little opening window in here. Yes, I'd do that again, because that's the only other window that I've got in the back of this van. I've opted away from putting in any slide windows. You've got into that sort of trouble when it comes to putting in like caravan or boat windows in to give me additional ventilation. We're here in Australia, and that's important. I'll get to that in a minute. Now, what other options did I get in this vehicle? So we went, yeah, as I said, I went for the advanced lane centering or lane keep. So it actually steered me back on the lane. I've also got in there adaptive cruise control. And while it's not amazing, it doesn't have stop go. And please, Crafter, Volkswagen, could you please do a version that does have better tech? But anyway, we're dealing with the one we've had. Now the wind. Now the adaptive cruise control is great for when you're in traffic. You can just creep along in front, behind the vehicle in front, or I just tend to overset the speed and let the vehicle keep up with the vehicle in front at its maximum distance. Along with the lane keep, that's a great option. Now, it doesn't do stop go. If it comes to a complete halt in the Crafter, it will beep and ask you to put your foot on the brake, and then you've got to release that brake when it's time to go again. Now, what else did I do? In terms of evaluation, so Sprinter was on the list of vehicles to check out, and I do love the Sprinter. Enjoyed my time, the one I had. But the price tag was much higher and the tech wasn't as good. We've also got in the bargain barrel the LDV Deliver 9, and those vehicles are super popular. They're Australia's most popular cargo van of this size. They have cruise control and really great value for money, but I don't think the tech is quite as good. Same thing goes for the Renault Master and the Fiat Ducato, do you call it? And the other vehicles I evaluated don't have the adaptive cruise control. Maybe they do now, but anyway, it was an important thing for me as I will jump in the vehicle here and go 4 hours of the Gold Coast here to go to a place called, actually I won't tell you because it's a secret surf spot, but it's 4 hours south, and when the weather's right, the surf's great, off I go. I've got to go get those waves, they're amazing. But anyway, I want to do that in complete relaxation, and on this wonderful stretch of highway south of here, real easy to do. Anyway, look, if I don't get into this vehicle, actual walkthrough, I'm going to lose you shortly. So let's get on with it. So what else should I tell you? It's a 6 metre. It's the high roof. It's, as you can see, a 6 metre is an important decision that I made in terms of this vehicle. So you go say, well, why don't you go a bit longer? You can put a toilet, shower inside. No, here I'm going to the beach every day. So a vehicle that actually fits in a standard car park is really important for me. It's a bit of a tight fit, but basically if it's a standard car park and people have not been unkind, I can reverse park into a normal roadside car park. So that was an important feature for me as well. What else do we have? Standard wheels. Look, probably when I change tyres, I might put something more fancy on here, maybe a little bit more ground clearance. Did that on the Sprinter. Not sure about it because it did change the driving dynamic and it was that little bit extra to step up. So I didn't really enjoy this. This is also a front wheel drive. Sprinter I had, rear wheel drive. Look, in hindsight, and actually rang the dealer after I ordered this and said, oh, I've just seen someone with the 4-wheel drive Volkswagen Crafter. I want to change my order. He says, oh, well, it's too late. We'd have to resubmit the order and you're putting your order back 2 months and it's going to cost you this much extra and who knows when you're going to get it delivered because it's post-COVID car delivered times. So I settled for the front wheel drive. Now I stick pretty much to the blacktop, the bitumen roads. It's just when you get in a sticky situation, I'm not going to hit the beach. It's just when you're like, you go, oh, don't know about that hill. Oh, don't know about that dirt road up onto a hilltop to get to look over the surf. But anyway, I've survived. I haven't got bogged just yet. So happy days. Yeah, let's get to the walkthrough part. Come with me. All right, so strap yourself in. Now, as I said, this is a 6 metre long vehicle. There's a whole range of vans that are around about this length. Now, stepping up, let's start here with the flooring. This is second edition flooring, only recently changed. It's actually one of these hybrid floor things. It's a nice veneer on the top. You can see the layers and there's actually a foam layer on there. I haven't stacked it down yet. But anyway, this product is great. I did have a bit of a water incident in here about a month ago. And I had a vinyl product here, so I thought it's time to go a little bit better. And this is great. People have said how clean this is, how wonderful it looks, and it actually matches the actual desktop, that product that I use here as well. So I started with the desktop and worked back and said, well, let's not match it. Now, this is the big change that's changed here. And let's talk about refrigeration now and get that out of the way. Over here, we've got what's supposed to be a 95 litre Gecko branded fridge. Now, I've done the numbers and I've been ripped off, or gypped as we'd say in Australia, because that's actually only 65 or 70 odd litres in there. And I'm currently talking with Edison's is the company that sold it to me online. I think they're actually the importers. And anyway, they've done the wrong thing and told me it was 95 litres. Clearly it's not. And we're in the process of getting our money back. Now, prior to that, what I did have here is actually a 90 litre King's dual zone fridge freezer, which actually became a seat and a bench top and a place for people to hang out when they came over. It was also great because it was a lift top. What do they call that? Well, lift top fridge freezer. So I had everything here. So even when the groceries came back from the supermarket, really easy access. But it did swallow up a lot of space here. In hindsight, now that I've known that this is a bit smaller than I really want, I would actually go maybe for something about 75 litres in this space, a bit narrower, and actually have it still there, because that was actually worked pretty well. And for friends that come over, so, oh, do you want a drink, do you want a beer, you want ice cream, it was right here in the doorway, and sort of gave you a little bit of enclosure, a little bit of privacy from what's happening inside. As you can see, sightline wise, you can actually see around this curtain that I've got here that is normally a bit more closed, as that hides what's happening behind there. To be fair, for the price, it's not bad value. So the freezer space in here, oh, ice cream, that's nice. 20 litres up there. And down the bottom, we've got about 45 to 50 litres, depending on which way you measure it, of actual refrigeration space. Didn't bother doing a Clyde up there, but we have got a couple of cold beers to drink after we get that done. This is nice. This is from Kick-Ass. It's only $25, $27, I think they are. So we've got a sensor that's in the freezer, a sensor that's in the fridge, and we've got up-to-date temperatures, including ambient. Nice day here, 29 degrees outside. Torch ready to go here. On top of there is my little kitchen thing. So before I go for a surf, and I'm a foil surf, I'll show you some of that in a minute. Toaster, $9 from
Kmart or whatever it is, Big W, and this just works for me every day. So the ability to warm up a bit of pizza or some other toast is made in that. I've also got, oh, this is interesting. This is actually one I got from China. Did previously get one from Vietnam, and you can shop hard and get these in Australia now. But this is only 1600 watts. Now that's important. That's only about 1600 watts, or maybe about 1400 watts there. And this about 1600. That's really important because the inverter I've got in here is 2000 watts normally and bursts to 3000, but tends to complain if I've got both of these going. And a standard kettle, the Australian kettles that we get that from anywhere are normally 2200 watts. That seems to be the given. All right, so normal kettles normally upset my inverter. I'll show you that inverter in a minute just to show you what's going on there. So, okay, computer-wise and desk, I have got a digital marketing agency, and I've got a couple of great staff work for me, so we talk during the week, and so I do have a bit of work to do. Not a lot because my team's so good, but what I do is when we hit the beach in the morning, is we are going to check out what's happening with the surf. And so this is a Lenovo computer, but it's what's nice, it's got a 180 degree hinge, and I've made my own little computer slide case here that it exposes the keyboard and the mouse pad if I need it. On the back I've got a lot of connectors here, so HDMI, a couple of USBs, Ethernet, USB-C, and it's power cord, so that works pretty well. Dual screen capability. I do edit videos. I do like to watch several surf cams at a time, but if you've got business to do, work from home or work from a van or work from the beach like I do, then it's a great option. Okay, so that's desk-wise. Now down here we've got our what you do at home in terms of kitchen drawers. So in there, the things you'd expect to find: spoons, cups, saucers, coffee service, other bits and pieces are in there as well. Oh, behind here. Now I have option now. By the way, sorry Barry, but your chair didn't make the cut. After a year of using a nice chair that someone gave to me, that's a real good office chair. It was on rollers, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense in a van. But I've gone back to this trusty companion brand or director style chair. And in this, actually, I've built, to make it a bit more comfortable for office type work, I have actually made a plywood insert here. Terrible finish, I know, but it's really super functional. And that's sort of part of the design spec for me, is to be functional over my other things. Let's take a look at the electrics. Okay, so love my EnerDrive DC to DC. When I'm driving along, this will do 45 to 50 amps off the engine up top. I've got 640 watts of solar panels, and that's turned out to be ample. Now I've got the smaller fridge. The other fridge turned out to be a bit of a hog compared to this unit I've got now. So I've got some quick release here stuff going on with Anderson plugs. I've got cutouts here. I've got breakers here from the inverter, along with from the engine charging. I've got a switch over here for when I've got to charge from the house on a rare occasion with the 20 amp charger I've got. In the back here is my inverter. Up here on the switch panel, I've actually got a remote switch for the inverter, and that's pretty work. That's a J-Car one. Down over here, let's just stick the phone in here so you can take a bit of a look. See, look there, the J-Car brand, or whatever the J-Car's generic brand is, 150 amp hour lithium batteries. They were quite expensive. You can get far cheaper ones these days. They're fairly dumb, no Bluetooth capability. Oh, and you notice here I don't have anything of that expensive Victron blue color. Like, Victron's nice, and I love the Bluetooth connectivity and the amazing efficiency and quality of finish that comes with Victron, but for the price, I just can't justify it, honestly. So I have actually pieced this together out of the best products you can get. So EnerDrive do this is great. The J-Car inverter, wouldn't do that model again because it's actually developed a bit of a hum. The lithium batteries have been great value because they were the right price back in the day. Over the front here, so J-Car, Australia's electronic supply store, got that switch panel from them. Finally got around to actually labeling those too, by the way. Knick-knack wise here, well, while we're here and looking at this, we'll show this off. That's obviously a wireless charger there, and you might notice it's actually a knife block there that's actually been converted into a phone holder with a little bit of wood there to hold it in. So as I said, functional, not beautiful, functional. Got my DJI battery charger there for my drone. Batteries are always there. In the back there, maybe just able to see. No, not really, but I've got a couple of, plenty of USB ports and plenty of cigarette lighter plugs. Got a little tray here using the Telstra 5G network with the Netgear there for getting my internet in most places Australia. Have looked at Starlink, opted for no thank you. It's a bit dear, and the places I go, 5G is going to do everything I need. Up here, Renogy, great value. The $100 battery monitor comes with a shunt. I'm used to, in the marine environment, paying much more money for these, and so this does a great job. It seems to be monitoring really well here too. You can set it to say how much amp hours you've got in storage, so it does give you a reasonably reliable state of charge there. And as I said, now that I've gone to a smaller fridge, I'm doing really well. Okay, while we're doing electrics, got the, what are these skins? The Sirocco 2 3-speed fan, and it has got a timer. We'll turn it off. Maybe it was creating a bit of a hum for you while you're watching, so that's a bit of a nuisance. Turn that off. I've got that hanging down there. Now, why have I done that? Let's tell you why I've done that. Because as we know in vans, and particularly here in Australia, it does get warm. We've got a different climate to where you see most van life videos, where they're in sub-zero temperatures a good portion of the year, and they're trying to live indoors and trying to have showers and keep the heat in. We don't do that in Australia. Here it's all about ventilation for the most part. So the Sirocco fan's mounted here on a bit of timber hanging down, and of a night time I do leave the back door cracked. Not worried about security at all, so it's fine to just have the airflow through here. And in fact, even though it's middle of summer, my partner's complaining it's too cold at night while I'm finding it just fine. She's pulling an extra towel or something else over it to keep herself warm. Now I've also got here, oh, this is nice, this is cute. I've seen a couple of different ways to do. People like put bag style wraps over their windows to do fly screens. Here, because the crafter has metal surrounds, I've just been able to do these magnetized and in cut, so I can actually, these are great because they just pop on and pop off. They will blow off in a decent breeze, but I can put those on from the inside, which is a great option because, well, one thing, and even with my partner here at the moment, I don't use the driver or passenger door much. As you can see, this is the 2-seat variant and option I've gone for here, and that did cost a pretty penny. These seats do rotate, and it will actually leave this passenger seat rotated when my partner's not in town. So and so that's really great for a social aspect and just for laying your shit around, honestly. But that's otherwise comfortable. That does have a bunch of adjustments. It's got the armrest as well. They're adjustable. There's lumbar support, there's height support. So these are a really good option for seating and well worth the money and the option. What else are we going on here? I've talked about the options in terms of electrics here, so we won't bother about any of the bits and pieces and of the crafter. Up top, I did also opt for a shelf here over the top of head. And this is great, as I've just got a bunch of tubs here that actually do facilitate drone stuff, computer stuff, medication and toiletries, some clothes, and a bit of space here to also pack in. Actually, up here while we're here, let's visit with the insulation. Probably, oh look, I got probably a little bit oversold, but you can see that can we peel a bit down? You know, maybe you can just take a bit of a close. This is actually oh, that's actually from the factory, but the actual product here is a foam layer with a foil on it, which honestly I'm not sure it's doing that great a job, so not real plush. But obviously it's great for this sort of thing where you just want to stick it on and let it do its job. And that cello up there, no, look, it's not a great hot day, so you really can't tell, but that's really doing an okay job. In the Sprinter, I use a product called Rock Wool, and I wish I'd done that again. It's a little bit hard to insert, and you've got your concerns about weight and maybe some dust over the life of the van, but the Rock Wool, the really important thing was with the Rock Wool insulation, and I do mean Rock Wool, not anything else that sounds like that, just Rock Wool. And it's crushed up rock suspended in fiber, and it's great insulation, it's fireproof, and number 3, and really nice for when you're caught in a rainstorm in your van, which is, you know, it's pretty often actually here in Australia, you get them from time to time, is it's silent, or you just get this You just get this white noise sound when there's rain on the roof, and it's really delightful. Whereas this product is not doing near as good a job as on sound insulation as it should do. Let's turn on our lights here. We've got LED light strips. Okay, let's talk lining. A lot of people like to weigh their vans down with timber, ply, tongue and groove lining in their vans, and they look spectacular. And the van life lot who do, you know, these wonderful spectacular videos, build these vans from scratch and then take them out and say, look how great a van I've built. I've gone a whole lot lighter and a whole lot cheaper. This above us here is one sheet of core flute. It was magic. I went to buy some core flute thing, and that's a product I'm going to use in the Sprinter. And at the BFS Plastics in Brisbane, I went and said, I want a piece of core flute that's 3 meters and 1.7, I think it is, across the top here. And he says, well, we've got sheets that are 1.9 and 3 meters long. So, and I thought, wow, I can do this in one sheet. And yes, I have. I've did it with the Sprinter. I've done it again here. Now, originally I tried to just Velcro it in and have it attached to the roof. That way it didn't work out. So I did have to retrofit. And these are just, actually, these are tracked from household mosquito screen, mesh surrounds for your windows. And I've just screwed these up into the overhead beams. Up inside that, I've got the sticky, spongy product with the foil layer on the back to do the insulation. I've actually shoved a bit more insulation that I had spare up in the back section there, so I've got a bit more soundproofing when it is raining. And the wonderful thing is here too that I actually did find that one piece of core flute squeezed in perfectly in here, because I put this in and it was like it squeezed into exactly where it needed to go here. And I'm like, hang on, I measured this to be 3120 millimeters, and this is like 3 meters. I've mismeasured something. And then I've sat back for a while and gone, oh no, hang on a second. The sheets are actually longer than the spec than he said. They're actually 3120. So anyway, that fit perfectly. Up here also got LED strips. Oh, now it's probably a bit hard to pick. Oh, let's see if we can show it to you. Yeah, look, it's a bit untidy up here. If you didn't have this bit of timber beam here, see, oh, there's a bit of beam exposed, and I've just cut in the core flute around that, being illuminated by the lights. You see, that's actually the beam work. Yeah, okay. So this is just piece of Merbu from Bunnings, which I've actually, oh, can I show you that? Hang on, see if I can't, maybe, oh, up here. Yeah, let's take a look up here. Oh, there we go. See, there's a bit of rope there. So that's actually a really strong, there's like a 5mm Dyneema rope. And what I've done is, and you can't, oh, maybe you can. Oh, the stainless steel saddle. You send that on the end of my finger there. So stainless steel saddles screwed into the Merbu planks, and then I've just sewn this panel in, and then just tensioned it up. So actually just pulled in this bit of rope here to actually to pull those here up into there. See, they're flexing around a bit, and I can just tuck things in there if I need be, but I rarely do. But this piece of Merbu are then hiding the actual core flute joint. So the finish is clean and white and light. It's really great. I mean, this weighs nothing. People put like 200 kilos into their vans in linings. Once they put in the supporting timber and then overlay of tongue and groove, they just put in so much weight it makes no sense at all. Whereas for all of this, what have I got? The 2 lengths of Merbu actually weigh something, but the core flute weighs what, 5 kilos all up for my lining. So that's pretty good. Okay, double bed mattress, and we've just got a big sheet of ply under that. I've actually got some sideboarding down here, so it's just got some space to put stuff when you go to bed and just store stuff. So I've got my clothes. I've extended up there to have some USB charging. Just got a little bedside that I'm toying with, a couple of down lights, one either side, bit of USB charging instead. This is actually a shower curtain here that I've got on this $35 rail or $20 rail I got off eBay. So it's a bit clunky, but it works. Shower curtain I think was $35. I'm not even sure that I paid for it. So that gives me a privacy there. Up the front here, while we're doing curtains, let's show you what's going on here. What are we on to? Wow, 20-minute video plus the intro. We're up to, like, if you're still watching, you've been at it for probably 25 minutes now. Up here, so I've got hooks and an actual key rings there to actually put up this front curtain. So instead of having one of these window reflectors and being super stealthy, I'm not worried about that. In New South Wales, you can of course sleep in your vehicle, so which is where I spend most of my time. So, and I'm usually at home or at a friend's place or in a camp area, so I don't need to be stealthy. But that curtain actually, that bit of dash mat effectively goes up to become a curtain there. Don't need to worry so much about what happens with these windows. Tend to just leave them ventilate. Okay, where are we up to? Done here. There's a bit of space back here. Obviously you need a bin. It's great because it's located just behind, so I just know where the bin is when I throw something out, or when I'm sitting here doing some work. I know where the bin is exactly. Let's do water. Let's do water and what's happening under here. Look, we're in the process here, and this is one of the things. Wow, and if you're watching this long, well done. All right, let's talk about one of my design principles that happens for me, and one of my biggest and hottest suggestions is if you buy a van and going to fit it out, don't just buy it and start fitting it out and to some spec that you've come up with, because you're going to be wrong and you're going to get the measurements wrong. You're going to get the dimension. You're going to get the dynamics wrong. You got to work out what's important to you. So that my big deal, my first suggestion to anybody who talks to me about vans is throw a mattress in the back and just hang around in it. To put the basics in and just work out what's right for you. There's actually a bit of cabinetry. There's actually a little under desk file cabinet unit. I've cut it down so I can actually put food and stuff in here. I actually did want this to have this further over, and in fact, we'll move it back over there. We've got a little foamy for the girlfriend to surf on, but I've just got it roped onto. And this is actually interesting. I'll try and maybe show you. Oh no, it's going to happen from here, I guess. This is actually a steel beam that I've put just across the wheel arches here, and that's for me to anchor things on, because let's face it, if something bad happens, everything here is going to want to move forward if I have a front end accident and we've got a massive deceleration. So here I've actually sewn on this box. We've got this food tub tucked behind here. This is actually strapped in. Here you got the Dyneema rope is under here and strapped to the body. Bolted the desk to the side of the van. So make sure you secure everything well. The way I've actually done this bed is just, I've done this before, is pine lengths across here, bit of ply on top. Getting a bit dry, wow. Okay, this microwave, it's great. It's actually bolted on, it's bolted through here up into the top. So it's not going anywhere. Oh, that's right, I mentioned water. Let's do water now. Okay, look, this is in a state of flux at the moment. My apologies. That is a Jabsco water pump there. Typical thing for the marine environment. Back here and inside I told you I had a water incident a while ago. So now I've actually put an extra waterproofing bag around a 50-litre water tank here. This is only $60 from one of the off-road suppliers. I've got this wonderful, check this out. This is a great product. This is the BEST water filter. It's got silver inside, it's bi-directional, but you just decide which one it is. What's great is it's just got standard hose connectors on it, so wherever you pull up and you can get a hold of a garden hose, you plug it in, and it's then just going through that filter. And so we've just got nice, clean, tasty water, takes less water, I should say, going down through. And this is just a bit of standard Y fitting with a switch on it. Water valve here that's adapts straight onto the tank using standard hose fittings. Water comes out, feeds into here. Breathe the hose off the top here. I'll probably show you from the back. There is a 9-litre electric hot water system there. It runs on about 1200 watts, I think it is, and it just dials up and makes water to the temperature after. Look, you don't really need it. It's Australia and you can have a cold shower, but it's kind of nice as a nice to have. And sitting back there, and it's, look, I've just got this Wemming rope tying this all in at the moment, which is a bit, how's your father? 3x3 marquee. Have always had one of these, and it's handy. I'll show you that from the back. Anyway, to complete on the water. So the water's going tank to pump through the hot water system. So if I need hot water, I just turn it on and go out for a surf, come back, get my hot water, and that's just flowing up through here, and just your standard Nilex switchable nozzle. Everything's nice and watertight. And that water incident I have is actually as a result of kinking. By the way, I kinked this white hose here. That's actually my air bleed and my breather for when I was refilling. So it was kinked. air couldn't escape. I had the water attached, and so eventually the tank just exploded and I had 50 litres of water in my vehicle. So that did get around the waterproofing and the vinyl I had in here, and I had to take it all apart. So this is kind of like version 2 of the van as I've gone back and rethought things like that. Okay, back here, bit of fly screen, bit of window blinds, leave them shut most of the time. I've actually, there's some more of my favorite product, Core Flute, is actually providing me a bit of privacy when those are actually open. I mentioned the 3x3 marquee. There's actually the tent that goes with it, so whenever I go camping I can just pop that out, put that up. Got a trestle table here, standard $60 trestle table, folded in half, and that's actually up inside a slot here, so it's never in the way. And as you can see back here, it's all about water sports. And so again, this is one of my design principles. I'm always going to the beach, I'm always foiling, and I'm quite frequently sleeping in this vehicle. So we've got 3 design principles here about this vehicle that really control it. So even the bed height here that I've elected to is, so while others go to the beach to go foil, I've actually got my full foil board with mast, with the foil setup attached to it, slides in under the bed, and I can go foiling at a moment's notice. I've also got, I'm into wing foiling here, so I've got a board for that job. I've got a separate set of foils for that, and these are my inflatable wings here. Got a bit of gear here. There should be actually a toolbox here. It's not here on this occasion, so I can show you in here. Oh, here we go. That's what we're here. Let's just show you. So that Campervan Express is about $100 delivered, I think. And if I switched it on, there's a little display there you can see, and you can dial it up to whatever water temperature. Now, I did make a mistake the other day. I did set it at by accident. It was at 60 degrees, melted a bit of the hose, and I started to leak a bit. But so I won't do that again, will we, boys and girls? Got a foam in here, got a spare foil board. I think I'm almost down the end of this. I'm almost down the end. So let's wrap it up maybe. Fly screen is just where I go to a friend's place and they've got a few mozzies come out of the creek, so that's handy for that. I've also put a Y-frame in here. Oh, there's that steel beam. See that steel beam going across there? So that's really handy for holding stuff off the floor. It's also, as I said, great for like when I had a fridge that was tied to it, stop the fridge from going anywhere. And right now it's holding up that cabinetry that's got food and a few bits and pieces in the microwave sitting on top of it. Built a box around that wheel arch over here. Really agricultural. This is the vinyl product I've always used. I had some, when I pulled up the other stuff, I've reused it to actually seal up and stop the water from getting in around the getting into the side ever again. So much more waterproof than it ever was. That's about it. Final thing while we're here, I guess I just pointed this reversing camera. Oh no, actually there's one little thing. I've actually put a little bit of Core Flute, stuck it on here with super glue. So I've actually got a little eave. I've got a little eave sticked up there. See how this disappears? They should have it on more vans, but actually I can leave these doors cracked with a bit of rain around and the water won't get inside the back of the van. Similar thing, and maybe, yeah, final point. Bear with me. We're almost there. You've almost seen everything. Is here, I've actually got a piece of Core Flute that actually is an awning, a little one. And what happens with that is I actually bring it out here and tuck it onto the solar panels to actually give me just a little bit of awning. Now people would say, well, why don't you get one of those fancy, what's the brand of them? I'm not even bothered repeating it. I don't have one. Is that those are great, but they are great for camping sites. When you're at the beach, you only want a bit of cover that's going to stick out and not get in the way of people next door in their vehicles. So just by having a bit of Core Flute that just sticks out over the window here gives me a little bit of rain protection. And here's actually, while I'm here, there's the solar panels. Look, I had a bit of a drama here. Can we see it through there? Yeah. See if you can see that. So in there you might be able to see the bolts. Those are King's Z brackets for solar panels. The stainless steel bolts are rubbish because they've corroded, and at some point I'm actually going to have to try and get them out to redo them and reseal them so that I don't get water coming inside the van. Oh, that's it. I'm exhausted.
and I definitely need a drink of water. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you've got some comments, questions, you're welcome to ask me. I'll endeavour to come back to you and let you know my thoughts on anything you've got in terms of differences. Otherwise, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. I'm John Naylor.